Okay, everyone. Today is our assignment on 2D motion worksheet number 2. Now, as I take a look at this, how does this relate to worksheet number 1, which had triangles, to worksheet number 2, which doesn't have anything? All it has is some words. So how does this necessarily apply? Well, how it applies is we will still apply the Pythagorean theorem. We just have to draw our triangle first. We'll sketch our path, we'll draw our triangle, solve for r using the Pythagorean theorem. On part 2, you will indicate which direction you traveled, and distance is still solved the same way. Distance just adds, whereas displacement is that vector quantity where direction matters. So as I take a look here at question number 1. Question number 1, Matt goes for a run after work. He runs 3 kilometers north, then he turns and runs 4 kilometers to the east. What distance did he run? So if I sketch this out, he goes 3 to the north. Now, this is what's important. This is what's called that vector. This here's the vector additions called the head to toe rule. It doesn't say that Matt returns to run back home. Always look at this as directions. Whatever he does first, from there, he's going to do what is next. East is to the right. This is the direction he went left. And what we need is our overall displacement. This ends up completing our triangle. The diagonal, this is the displacement. Distance is found the same way as it was before. We add all motion regardless of which way we go. So Matt ran 3, then he ran 4. He ran a total of 7 kilometers. But for the displacement, since I'm trying to find side R, this is the displacement. That's always measured from the start to the finish. You do have 2 arrows that end in the same spot. Now, Pythagorean theorem is just x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, whereas the north is your y, x is your 4. Again, really, you can actually have these flipped. I type that left side in my calculator just like I did before. 4 squared plus 3 squared equals 25. But I don't want to know what r squared is equal to. I want to know what r is equal to. So the last thing I need to do is take the square root. And the square root of 25 is just 5. And that's the answer to part B. 7 is the answer to part A. Now you might ask about, there is a third part to each question. What direction was traveled? Well, if Matt ran north and Matt ran east, the direction then we combine is northeast. And that's what I'm going to have make sure that I have marked in my form. So adding to find the total distance, using Pythagorean theorem to find the displacement, and then indicating what direction. Now, direction is always measured from the start, never from the end. We'll do number 2, Rusty the dog. Rusty the dog was outside playing. He started to chase a squirrel. He ran 10 meters south, then he turned and ran 24 meters west. So south is down, that's 10. Turns goes west, that's 24. And our resultant, always drawn from the beginning, is there. Distance, 10 plus 24 is 34 meters. Distance just adds, but the displacement, this is where we're using Pythagorean theorem. Plug in my numbers. 24 squared plus 10 squared equals r squared. I'm going to type that in my calculator. And then 676 equals r squared. Last step then is to take the square root of both sides. And r equals 26. Now the direction here, if I go south, I go west, I go southwest. So again, for the form, distance is adding. 10 plus 24 is 34. Displacement is using the Pythagorean theorem, which my answer was 26. And I'm combining south and west together, and that's giving me southwest. And that's all there is to this. We just have to draw our triangle and use the Pythagorean theorem with displacement.